Hello and welcome to Google Looker Studio dashboard tutorial. As you can see in front of us, we are able to see these finance analytics dashboards. And in this tutorial, you will be able to see how to create same dashboard. First, you will see how to import data. After that, you will be able to see how to modify background size and color. After we complete that, we will be creating those scorecards that you can see here. Next, we will create tables. We will be analyzing profit by country, product category, subcategory, and promotions. And after we complete all of that, then we will create those two charts. First will be sales and profit analysis by month, and second one will be cost analysis. Also, we will include one filter at the top. So basically you will be able to click on this field here, and then you will be able to filter your data by region. For example, if we choose only Europe, then we will be able to see all data related to Europe. As you can see in this table here, we are able to see only European countries: Germany, France, United Kingdom, and so on. If we click, for example, North America, then we will be able to see only data for North America. For countries, we have United States and Canada. So let's select all values. Now, before we start, let's first take a look at our data. If I click on this Google Sheets here, then I will be able to see my data source. Basically, I will leave this Google Sheet in the description of this video, so you will be able to work along with me. Basically, we have some data related to orders. As you can see, we have order ID and date. Also, we have some, let's say, financial informations, for example, unit cost, price, cost of sales, sales profit, and so on. But also what is important for us is also sales channel, for example, promotion name, product name, manufacturer. Basically, this column we will not be using in this tutorial. Product subcategory, category, region, city, country, and yes, basically that's it. That's all data that we have. So before we start creating our dashboard, we first need to import our data. How can we do that? We will go back to Google Looker Studio, and then let's click on this icon here. If I click on that, I will be able to see Google Looker Studio homepage. If you take a look down here, you will be able to see that we have all dashboards that we created stored here. Basically, this finance analytics dashboard is the one that we will be working on. So if I click on that, I will be again able to see my dashboard. As you can see now, this dashboard is much bigger. So the reason for that is this is view mode. So if you click on this edit button here, we will be again in that edit mode. So now that we know that, let's go back to Google Looker Studio homepage. And now instead of choosing the existing one, I'm going to create a new one. So let's click on blank report, or you can use this button here. But let's click on that one, and now we will be able to create our report. But first, we need to import data in this report. As I said previously, we will be using Google Sheets. So let's click on this Google Sheets data source, and let's find our sales spreadsheet. Worksheet is data. If we check that here, spreadsheet is sales and worksheet is data, so that's correct. And now we will leave this as it is, and let's click on add. Then add to report, and we successfully imported our data. Now, as you can see, Google Looker Studio already created some table for us, but we don't need that. We will delete this, so just choose your table and delete. And now we need first to change this canvas size. So to do that, I'm gonna go to this page option, current page settings. We have two buttons here, setup and style. Click on style. And now we are able to provide canvas size. We could also choose some other option, for example, some default options, but we will provide custom values. So let's type 2000. And for this one, let's say, for example, something like this. Now that's perfect. This is our canvas now. What we need to do next, we need to pick color for our background. So let's do that. Let's go to this theme and layout button. Let's click on that and let's choose this default one. And now we are able to see our background color. Now that we completed that, it's time to add title to our dashboard. To do that, let's go to this text option. If I click on that, I will be able to provide my text box here. Before I start typing, I first need to change font and font size. So to do that, I'm gonna go to this text properties section here. I'm gonna leave this option as it is, and for this one let's put, for example, something big, for example 72, and let's change color. I'm gonna use this green one. Now I'm able to start typing. First, let me resize this, and let's type finance. Finance Analytics Dashboard. Okay, perfect. Let me resize this, and also I'm gonna make this bold. Okay, great. That's perfect. And now we have our title. Next, we will be inserting scorecards. To insert scorecard, you will need to click on this option, add a chart, and you will need to find scorecard option. And let's place it here on our canvas. Now we have some random value here, but instead of that, for first value, we will be using sales. Let's drag this sales metric here. And now we are able to see our sales value. What we also need to do, we need to modify this card. So let me show you how you can do that. First, you need to click on that card, and then you will be able to see this section here. We have setup and style. This time we will click on this style option. And first we will check this compact numbers option. So if I click on that, we will be able to see compact numbers. This basically works for us, so I will leave this card with compact number. Next, what I need to change is font size. Let's put 60, for example. Also, I'm gonna need to change color. Let me use this gray, for example. Also, I'm gonna change font. Let's use this one. I will need to align this. Okay, perfect. Let me just resize this card. Okay, that's much better. And I will also need to change background color. Also, I'm gonna change this, instead of 4, let's put 10, and you will be able to see those round edges. For background color, let's try to use, for example, something like this. Okay, this looks nice to me, so we'll leave this as it is for now. Now that we created this first card, we will be able to use that same style for each of these cards that we will be creating. So let me copy this one. I'm gonna copy that. And now we just need to change value for each of them. For example, instead of sales, in this one, we are gonna put profit. So let's find profit value. Here it is. Let's put profit here. That's perfect. Now, instead of this one, let's use, for example, sales cost. It's called cost of sales, but I'm gonna change this name. You can just click on that edit icon here and you will be able to type your name. Sales cost. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to next card. For this one, we'll be using, for example, this unit cost. We can leave this as it is. And for this one, let's use, for example, let me check price. This is perfect. And now we have all these financial metrics here, the most important ones. Also, what we could use is, for example, number of different products, basically. So let's find product name. And for this one, I'm gonna put product name instead of sales. And we'll be using that count distinct option. As you can see here, count distinct. Basically, we are counting just different product names. So this can tell us how many different products we have. For name, let's put products. Products, perfect. And now we have those cards completed. Now we need to rearrange them. So let's place them something like this. I'm gonna put this one here. This one will be, for example, here. Okay, now this looks nice to me. Next, what I would like to do is to insert a line below these scorecards. Basically, that way we will separate each section by these lines. So let's do that. Let's click on this line here and let's insert line here. Perfect. I'm gonna just resize that line. I'm gonna put it something like this, and I will need to change this. Instead of 2, this line will be, for example, 3. This is basically thickness of that line. So if I put, for example, 10, it will be, as you can see, something like this. but this time let's use 3. And I will add one more line. Okay, that's perfect. Now I will need to change color for this line. I would like to use, for example, something like this. Something to stand out. Okay, great. Now we can proceed to next phase. Now we will be creating tables in this middle section here. So let's first insert table. Go to add a chart option and click on table. Basically we have 3 different tables here, and we will be inserting table with bars and table with heat map. Let's first insert this table with bars. Let's place it here, for example. And now, as you can see, we are presenting channel and sales. Basically, we are able to see total sales for each of these channels. I don't need to see these metrics, so I will pick another one. Instead of that, let's use country. And instead of sales, let's use profit, for example. This way we are able to see total profit for each of these countries. Now we need to modify this table. Basically we are going to be modifying style of this table, so let's go to style option. We have different options here. This show header option we will leave it as it is, and also for this one, let's see what we can change here. We can change, for example, cell border color. Let's use also this one, same color that we used for these lines. And let's see what else we can change. We have also this table body section. As you can see, we have this option row numbers checked. Basically, we are able to see row number for each of these countries. Basically, I don't need to see that, so I will just turn off this. And also, if I uncheck this show pagination, I'll be able to see only those values in our table. Basically, that's enough for us, so let's leave that option as it is, and let's see what else we can change on this table. Let me scroll down. For those bars, I'm gonna change color. Instead of blue, let's use green color. And let's check this show number option. That way we will be able to see bar and number corresponding to that bar. So let's click on that, and now we are able to see full value, let's say like that. Basically with this completed, we are done with our first table. Now what I would like to do, I would like to create 3 more tables. So basically I'm gonna copy this table. We will need to place them later on exact location, but for now let's see what values we will be presenting in each table. If I click on this one, for this one, instead of that country and profit, basically I would like to see profit for each of product categories. To do that, instead of country, I'm going to provide product category value here. Okay, that's great now. Let me resize this table. Let's put something like this, and also for the first one. Okay, that's perfect. Let's do the same for this one and for this one. Excellent. Now that we completed that setup part, we will need also to modify something. I'm gonna click on this option here, and that way I will be able to choose different visualization instead of this table. If I choose donut chart, I will be able to see donut chart instead of this table. But this time I'll be using also table, but instead of bars, I'm gonna be using heat map. So let's click on that, and now we are able to see table with heat map. That's perfect for me, so we are able to proceed to next table. Let's click on this one, and let's see what values we have here. Basically use this product category, and maybe now we could use, for example, product subcategory. Let's drag this here. And now we are able to see that. This is nice to me, so let's proceed to last table. And for this one, let's use, for example, let's see something that we haven't used. Promotion name, for example. This way we will be able to see profit for each promotion type. And also for this one, I'm gonna use heat map like I used for this one here. So let's click on this option there and click on table with heat map. Now that's perfect for me. I will also need to change one more thing. For these 2 tables with bars, I would like to see values presented in different way. So let's see what I mean. If I scroll down here, I will be able to see this compact number option here. If you remember, we use that for our scorecards, so let's click on that. And now we are also able to see compact numbers also for this table here. Let's do the same for this one. Scroll down. Click on compact numbers, and now we are able to see that. Now that we completed that, let's resize this table. And let's do the same for this one here. Okay, that is great. Now that we completed those tables, we are done with this middle section here. Next, we need to add those lines to separate middle from this last section here. So let's basically copy this line. I'm gonna place it here, and I copy one more time. And let's try to put it something like this. Okay, that's great. Now I need to insert two more charts in this dashboard. So let's insert the first one. Let's go and click on this add a chart option. And now we need to find specific chart. Basically, we will be using bar chart with line. So for that purpose, we could use this. It's called combo chart. Let's place it here. And now I could resize that to be something like this. I'm gonna place it here. And that's perfect. Now what we are presenting here, if I click on this chart, I will be able to see that we are presenting sales and profit for each country. Basically, I don't need to see that. I would like actually to see some trend analysis. So I would like to see sales and profit for each month. To do that, I'm going to use this order date field. Let's drag that here. And now we are able to see values, but basically we are able to see for each day. So I will need to change something here. I'm gonna click on this edit icon here, and for name I'm gonna leave it as it is, and we have this data type option. If I click on date and then date time, I will be able to choose month from these recommended values. So let's click on month, and I will be able to see profit and sales for each month. Basically that's perfect. So what I need to do next is to modify this chart and also to sort those values properly. Let's do that first. If I click on this, sort by, order date, month. Basically we have some error. It's not basically our fault, it's Google Looker Studio, so let's try to refresh it. And now we are able to see our values again in that format, so let's try to sort it again. Order date. And now we are able to see values sorted but in descending format. Let me just click one more time. Sort by, order date, month, but this time it will be ascending and we have our months properly sorted. Next, I would like to change colors for this chart. Let's go to style. Okay, first we need to change this line. Instead of 2, let's put 3, for example. And instead of solid line, let's use dashed, for example. You have different options here, but let's use this dashed. As you can see now we have different line now. Okay, perfect. Instead of this color, I'm gonna use orange one. And also I would like to insert those points, like dots, for example, as you can see here. Also, what I would like to see is data labels for each of them. And now we are able to see data labels for each of these values. But as you can see, we are not able to understand those numbers. Let's click on these compact numbers and we will be able to see those values properly. Okay, let's proceed to these bars. Now what we can do, instead of this color here, I'm gonna use green. Let me try to find some other color, but maybe let's try this one. Okay, this one is a little bit better, so I'm gonna use that color. And let's click also on show data labels, compact numbers, and that's perfect. Now we have our first chart created. Let's do the same for the next one. Let's copy this chart and I'm gonna just paste it here and place it here next to this one. Okay, great. Now we need to change values that we will be presenting. To do this, we're gonna go to this setup section. Instead of profit, let's use, for example, unit cost. And instead of sales, let's use, for example, cost of sales. Basically, this will be some kind of cost analysis. So this way we are able to see our costs. And instead of this line, I would like to see also bars. So how can we do that? We can click on this option. And instead of this chart, I'm gonna choose this one here. Let's click on that. And now we are able to see stacked bar chart. Basically, that's what we wanted to see. And now we need to do one more thing. Instead of this month, I would like to see this time for, let's try to find this option, year quarter. And now we are able to see that by year quarter. Also, I would like to sort this chart properly. Let's click on sort by, order date. And now we are able to see those quarters and years sorted properly. Okay, now that we completed that, I would like to modify a few more things. Let's click on this. Let's go to this style option. And now let's modify this chart spacing. If I drag this, for example, to this 60% value. Okay, great. Now you will be able to see that we now have more space between those bars. That's what I wanted to see. I will do the same also for this previous chart. But before that, let me first remove grid color. And also, I'm gonna remove background color. Let's scroll down. I'm gonna find this background and border section, transparent, and also for that border line, I'm gonna also put transparent, and now it's much better. Let's do the same for this one. So let's go to style, scroll down. Let's first fix this one. Perfect. Let's remove this and let me find background and border. Okay, that's great. Now that we completed that, we need to add chart titles for each of these charts. So let's do that. Let's go to this text button. Let's place it here. And now we need to choose font style. Let's find something interesting. Okay, let's use, for example, this one. And this one will be, for example, let's put 24. This will be title. And for that one, I'm gonna type sales and profit. Sales and profit. I'm gonna make that bold. Let's also resize this. Okay, that's awesome. I'm gonna copy this one. I'm gonna paste it here. Excellent. Cost analysis. Cost analysis, that's great. Now let me copy this one more time, and now I'm gonna make this smaller actually. Let's make this 16, for example, and I will say here monthly analysis. We are not typing. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Let me just turn off this bold option. Great. Now let's copy this one. Let's place it here. And instead of this, let's type cost of sales. Okay, perfect. Let's just place it right here below, just to have some space between. I think this is now perfect. Now that we completed that, we are almost done. We need to do one more thing. We need to insert filter to our dashboard, so that way we will be able to filter this data. To do that, let's click on this add a control button. Let's find this option drop down list and let's place it here. As you can see, now we are able to filter by this promotion name. Instead of that, I'm going to provide a region. So this way we will be able to filter our data by each of these regions. Let me try to click on that, and I'm going to remove this price metric. I don't need to see that. So that way we will be able to see only those values. If I click on North America, I'll be able to see values only for North America, and that's perfect. Now let's select everything. Let me just resize this. And what I can do, I can add information box that will explain that filter button. With this completed, we are done with our dashboard. Thank you for watching, I hope that you learned something new. I'm gonna see you in the next tutorial.